Hey, it's a wrap, and it's episode 13.
Hurt me.
Oh, hey, if you've just joined us, we're glad you're here. And if you're a returning regular, if you're regular, or even if you're irregular,
I'm
welcome.
regular.
I know that's a good thing,
Twice in the morning,
too. Twice.
every time.
That's, it's funny you say that because me too, and it's good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyway, he's John Eaden. I'm David Novak. We're writer, actor type people, and we do this funny little weird podcast. And here we are. It's episode number 13. That means that we've done 13 episodes now.
Sure. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That's exciting, I think. That's more, I think that's more episodes than some TV shows.
You're right.
So there you go.
Happy 2 days after Easter, John.
Yeah. Wait, a shout out to the Pratt Brothers Christmas. I'm wearing their sweatshirt. I wanted to shout out to them because I know they're fans of the show. So.
Yeah. And can you give us like a 15-second synopsis on who they are?
Pratt Brothers run a little Christmas extravaganza there during Christmas in Arizona, Chandler, Arizona. They have a little thing going on every year. This will be no different this year, and it's filled with lights. They were the winners of, I think it's the 2021 light spectacular that Disney does every year. What's it called? Light Fight. Great Light Fight.
Yeah, it was on a network channel too.
Yeah, it still is.
ABC, I think.
Yeah, it's ABC.
Is it ABC? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's Kyle and Sam, right?
Kyle and Sammy. So,
yep, Kyle and
dudes,
Sam.
my brothers from another mother.
Yeah, exactly.
And their mom is a nice lady too. Their dad's great. The whole family is really good. They're good people. The whole group of them are good people.
Did you have a nice Easter, John?
I did. You know that it's good that you do that. We bring up the Easter because Easter is right around Passover, and I celebrate Passover because I'm hedge my bets from the Messianic side, and I think Passover is one of there's 7 feasts in the Bible that Leviticus talks about that I always asked myself when I was younger and I was originally, I got married to a different person and we weren't married anymore, but she was Jewish and we were together for a long time. And I always, I wasn't very big Christian back then, but I would, as our relationship moved along, and I kept celebrating Passover and other celebrations, I asked myself this question because it says it should be done for all time. That's what the Bible says to the Jewish people. And when Jesus came, there was an intent for the Jewish people to believe in the Messiah. And so I wondered, they would be celebrating these whether you were Jewish or not. And I wondered why Christians didn't. But Passover is one of those because it was his last meal just before he dies and then is resurrected.
You're talking about Jesus.
About Jesus, yeah. That is the beginning of Passover. He has his Passover dinner with his disciples, and then he is hung on the cross. But that Passover time goes all the way through there, and then first fruits is involved. So there's some pretty interesting things that happen right around that time, very important things. But the idea of that feast has so much messianic mixtures in it, not just because it was the meal that Jesus had, but the Passover itself with the blood covering the doors and the angel of death passing over those that the blood covered, which is a very big symbol of who Jesus and what Jesus does for us, so that we are not subject to death, that we continue to live on with him in glory. So Passover is a really cool time, and it ended right at Easter this year, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had Easter and we had Passover, and it's a great celebration. I think it's something that if you're a Christian, it's something you should look, at least that one. There's several other ones, but that feast alone, I think, is it's the first one. It's the beginning of the Jewish people as a people.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first, to mark this as their first month, their first time together. This is when they first form as a people. So it's a very important, feast on their end. And for us, it has so many messianic kind of things that go along with it. That's pretty cool. So there's so much about that, and when you really read in it, go and dive into it, not even from a messianic perspective, but from just a Jewish perspective, and understanding the messianic influences and all these things, it's so eye-opening in your worship to God that it's awesome to me.
Here's a little tidbit that I just picked up the other day. In the Bible, when John and oh gosh, who's the other one that
Peter?
ran to the tomb? That ran to the tomb.
Yeah, Peter and John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but when they get to the tomb, Peter just looks in, but then John actually goes in, if I got that right. And there's two angels sitting there, right? And the napkins, actually the linens that had covered Jesus, one on the head and one on the body, they were folded very neatly and put in certain positions in the head and the foot, on the slab where Jesus was. And there were two angels there. Well, this is something I just got the other day, that in the Jewish tradition, if you were at a meal and you didn't like the meal, there was a certain way that you would fold your napkin to let the host know that you did not like the meal, but more importantly, that you would never eat this meal again.
Wow.
Now, the napkin that was placed on, when Jesus rose from the dead, the napkins were similarly placed and folded, so he will never eat that meal of death again.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I just thought that just blew me away when I heard that.
Yeah.
That he will never eat that meal of death again, because he
That's
rose
pretty cool.
for once. Yeah, I thought that
Well,
was
the other
tremendous.
cool thing is that on the ark there are two angels.
Yes, I was
that are
going to bring
sitting at
that up
opposite
too.
ends. So
Yes.
it's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
What it kind of also, I mean, you could go on forever, but the
Yeah.
fact that the curtain is split open,
Mm-hmm.
allowing anyone to be able to see through that, which was, it was a barricade that nobody was allowed to go into. But
Yeah.
now that is basically empty.
Right.
And the same thing here. It's almost like it's kind of saying the same thing, that
Mm-hmm.
here they are in the two angels at either end, and now that
Yeah, and
ark
the
is
slab is kind of like the mercy seat with
right,
the
and it's
exactly. So
empty.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
so
that's so cool.
it's pretty cool.
Right.
It was it's John that beats him to the entrance.
John beats
Peter
him.
goes in.
Yes, because the apostle that Jesus loved.
Jesus loved.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because John is the one that's writing John. And
Yeah.
he says numerous
He never
times.
mentions his name,
He
but
doesn't mention his name.
he always brags about his
He said,
relationship.
the disciple that Jesus loved. And he
Yeah.
also goes out of his way to say that the disciple that Jesus loved ran faster than Peter.
Faster than Peter.
Got there first, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny.
But if you watch The Chosen, they actually make a joke about how Peter's not a runner.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that just
Pretty
the
funny.
other day. So, okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, here it comes.
Oh, wait. No, wait.
What?
No, because with Easter comes the Pope.
Okay.
You got to hold off on that one, because that is a big one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
okay,
right.
there.
All right. Okay. Goodness.
So
as
Pope
you know,
passed away.
The Pope Francis, yes, Pope Francis has passed away, and he succeeded Pope Benedict the 16th. But Pope Francis passed away the day after Easter. I think it was something like 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. So in Italy, it would have been a little bit earlier in the morning, I think, right? But what?
But he actually gave the whole. He did the sermon from the balcony there.
On Easter Sunday.
On Easter Sunday. So what a way to go!
I know. I thought
you
that
do your little thing. It's like I wonder. I wonder this because I remember when Jody's wife grandmother was passing away. I just happened to be sitting next to her, and we were waiting for Tom because he was working up north with the Habitat for Humanity, and he was supposed to be coming back down, and she was saying, I really want to wait. She said, I really want to wait for Tom, but I want to go home, is what she said. And it was like she saw where she was going. And I was like wondering if the Pope was like maybe the night before talked to God. He's like, it's time for you to come home. And he's like,
Oh,
can I
wow.
do the service? Let me do the service. Because
And
he'd been sick this whole time.
right, I know. Yeah.
But he manages to do the service. And then he goes back, and then he's like, okay, I'm done now. And
Yeah.
and then he goes home. So it's
Yeah.
pretty
Well, that's pretty
pretty
cool. I
interesting.
thought the timing was amazing.
Yeah.
So, and he was 88 years old. So, he had a long life. And now the conclave is going to be meeting and, picking a new pope.
The conclave. That sounds dark and ominous.
The conclave. Yeah, I know, right? but they
Have you ever been to Italy?
Well, I was just going, as you're telling this story, I'm sitting here thinking, and I was going to say it, and then I thought, well, I won't, but now I will since you brought that up. But yes, I've been to Italy. When Kathy and I, and the family, we went to Italy a few years ago, and we went to Rome, and we went to other, cities, but we were actually there, and this is like 8 years ago, I'm guessing, something like that. But we were actually there on Easter Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the day before Easter Sunday, we were there, and they're bringing in this. It wasn't in Rome that we were in Italy, but we were in one of the little towns, not too far from Rome. After we left Rome, but the priests, and they did this procession through the streets, and they were, all the priests and altar boys and everything they did, and they bring in the cross through, I think it was, and all that through the streets the day before, or maybe it was Good Friday. But so then we decided, well, we're here in Italy on Easter Sunday. We got to go to church. I mean, right? We would anyway.
Well,
but yeah, I know we would anyway go to church, but we're here in Italy. I mean, how cool is this? And so we did go to a chapel there. I mean, it's kind of a cathedral type of thing, but I remember, and of course, the whole mass was in Latin and Italian, and I'm half Italian, but I don't speak a lick of it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, but I was raised Catholic as a kid, so I kind of knew what was going on, that type of thing. But it was just very cool to be in Italy on Easter Sunday a number of years ago. So
yeah. You look at that place though, and you can see how they can have an enclave in a little room in the back with smoke coming out of the top of the building.
Yeah,
isn't that how they do it?
Yeah, and well, the way it works out is that black smoke comes out of the chimney when they haven't decided
when they have
yet,
a new pope,
and white comes out when they do. But they have, the way I understand it, I think I'm right, but they have to have a 2/3 majority. I think it's 2/3 plus one, I think is what I heard, to vote on the new pope. So anyway, and there's about a dozen or so, not nominees, I don't know what they call them, but people that are in the running. We'll put it that way. So anyway, so it should be interesting.
Like the Academy Awards for the Pope.
Yeah. And now for Best Picture instead of Best Picture.
Yeah, best runner-up
would be, yeah. So anyway, Pope Francis was, he was pretty much liberal.
Yeah, he was.
So, I'm kind of hoping that we have a little bit more conservative one next time, but I guess we don't need to get into all that, but hey,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah.
So it's the Pope.
It's the Pope. Yeah, absolutely. So,
all right, you had a little bit of excitement. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because there's a number of delegates that could be the Pope. So, I guess they would call that a potpourri. I just. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Okay. Moving on.
Okay, moving on. You ready?
Yes, I am. Oh, there it is.
Did you get that? Okay.
I got it.
All right. So we live in South Carolina.
Yes,
now,
you do.
all of a sudden, we moved from LA area, Orange County, actually in Southern California. We moved here 6 months ago, almost to the day, I think. But one of the things that they have here in South Carolina that are not common to us in California. They have some wildlife here in the tract that we live in. Well, you know what? Rather than just to talk on and on about it, I'm just going to share something with you here that I think you'll kind of dig.
Yeah, show us a deer or something like that. Is that what you're
Yeah,
gonna do?
you would think it would be like a deer. So anyway, so here we go.
Whoa, whoa! There you go. Now there's a dog for the neighborhood. Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
cow!
yeah. You
So
believe
what?
that?
That just kind of wanders
I
off
know,
there.
I know. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you watch it one more time now.
Holy cow! That is an animal. And so, what's happening there? What's going on there with all that?
Okay, so what's going on with all that? Okay, so Kathy and I, my wife and I, are driving back from going to the store or whatever we're going to, and we're driving into our track, and she's looking off the other way. She's not paying attention to, she's just looking the other way. I'm driving, all of a sudden, that's what I see, and I jam on my brakes, and she didn't
Let
say
me
it at
be
first.
Kathy for a minute. David, what are you doing?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
I thought
pretty
I did.
much. I says, "Look at that!" And she looks at, oh my gosh! And so I whip out the camera or my phone, and I start recording. And so what's going on is that, and I wish I had shot the video a little bit, more so, because on one side he was coming from a lagoon, crossing the street, and going to another lagoon, because at this time of year in Carolina, the East Coast, it's mating season for alligators. It's mating season. So he's basically looking for love. He's looking for a girlfriend.
Sure. So he's going from he's going to the sorority pond,
He's going to this. Yeah, he's coming from the frat house
from the frat house to the
to
sorority pond,
the sorority pond. Right.
pick up a chick.
You pick
Yeah,
up a chick.
that's how I got my wife.
Yeah.
I went to another pond
He
and
went to the
I picked her out of the
And that dude had to be, well, you saw the video. I'm guessing he was about 7 foot
Yeah,
long, something
that's
like
a
that.
pretty big little guy there.
Yeah, I know. And in our track, I think there's like 8 or 9 lagoons, ponds, whatever you want to call it. And I was told there's like 7 or 8 different alligators. And so we see them regularly, but not crossing the street. I mean,
Yeah.
but if you notice the 20-mile-an-hour sign, he was sticking to the,
Sure. Good
yeah,
for him.
he was not speeding.
Yeah, because you'll end up getting a little fine for that, like
Alligators at
$25.
speed, they turn into shoes or belts or, something
That's
like that.
that's what I was, that'd be a
Yeah,
couple of dollars right there
yeah,
to
I
be
know,
thinking
but
about.
that was crazy though.
A
So I wish
cat.
I had showed the 2 lagoons in the video, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, get your camera on, start
Well,
shooting. And I'm not thinking about the lagoon. I'm thinking,
right. There's a couple
get the
things going
alligator.
on there. Like, is he going to eat my children? Is he going to eat my dog?
I know. Isn't that
That's
crazy?
a big animal right there.
Yeah, and I just for kicks, after I shot that, I thought, I should put this up on Facebook. I wasn't trying to get views or anything. I threw it up on what do you call it, YouTube, also, just for kicks, and I got thousands of views, thousands, and I didn't even care about that, but I
Holy
just thought,
cow.
well, that's funny.
Maybe you should get eaten by an alligator, and maybe that'll get us 1,000 views.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could shoot that video.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's do that next time.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
wait, before we leave, we do have an
Yes.
unofficial sponsor.
We do. Yeah. Wait.
Okay.
What? I was trying to give us a transition.
Well,
Okay.
there it is.
Gee, sorry.
Oh, thank goodness. There it is, DiGiorno Pizza.
DiGiorno Pizza.
Right there, DiGiorno Pizza, the original rising crust DiGiorno Pizza. And what I love about this DiGiorno Pizza is that it has fresh baked taste because it is freshly baked in your oven. And just in case you were not sure if this was really a pizza, it does have also mixed in there fresh baked aroma. So
Fresh.
you get
Yeah,
some.
nice.
It has 3 meats. This one in particular is a 3 meat. This is not delivery. Just so in case you were mistaken, they're going to tell you right up on top, it's not the delivery. And then it's got instructions for everybody right there. So They're good for the agriculture too, because they're helping agriculture. But oh wait, this is even better. Have thoughtful portions. So they have thoughtful portions,
thoughtful.
one piece, and then with that have a fresh green salad. It's great company together.
There you go. And I can attest, because I've had DiGiorno, and it is really pretty good pizza. I mean, seriously, it is. It's
fresh baked with a fresh baked aroma. Oh, there it is.
And you can get that at most of your stores, including Costco, I understand.
That's right. Most of your stores where this podcast is seen.
Yes. And if on my other show, it's all about relationship, which is a Christian podcast. I always say at the end of the show, if this message has blessed you, please share it with a friend. Well, on our show, if this message has made you laugh or cry or anything, share it with a friend.
Share it with a friend, and maybe with a slice of.
And with a slice.
Yes, because we want thoughtful portions.
We want thoughtful portions
between you and your friend.
I think we might be good.
I think we've given the people all that they can stand of us.
And all that we can stand of each other, I think. So, yeah. It's a wrap. Episode 13. Share with your friends.
Bring it on. And if you have comments, throw them in the comment section.
It's a wrap.
There we go.